So of course, when you're doing a promotional event, really when you're doing anything in your business, you always need to switch on your enthusiasm, you need to smile, you need to switch on your charm, because first impressions count and you've only got a few seconds. So what I'm going to do now is just take you through an example of what I would do if someone was walking past my stall, and then I'm going to go back and break each section down and explain to you a little bit more about why I do it in this way. One last thing before I get into my example of exactly what I would do and what I would say is that you will notice that I'm standing behind the table. Now, different people have different opinions here about what's best to do. Personally, I have found that people feel more comfortable if I'm behind the table, whereas if I'm in front of the table, I feel like they get the sense that I'm ready to pounce on them and it's a little bit too overwhelming. So I've found it best to be behind the table. I definitely stand up. I do not sit down at all. When I'm doing these events, you've got to be standing up, you've got to be ready for action, and you've got to look like you're a business person. Have you been to these markets and these expos? Have you noticed all the other stall holders? They're bored out of their brains, they're sitting down, they look like the most boring person in the world, and then they want to whinge and complain that they didn't get any results for the day. So I tell you what, jump up on your feet. In fact, when I used to do this kind of event for the gyms that we used to promote, we would get in so much trouble if we were caught sitting down, because it is just not a good look and it's not effective. So up on your feet, no whinging, no complaining. You are in control of your results here. We've got the right mindset. We're choosing success in our mind. We're already seeing that we're going to walk away with I would say 4 or 5 bookings from any kind of event that you're doing like this, so we're ready to go. Let me take you through an example. So imagine someone's just walking by here on the front of the stall, and they just kind of stop by and have a little bit of a look there. And I might say to them, "Hi, have you heard of our fantastic fruit company before?" Now most times they might say no, so if they say no, then I'm going to say something like, fantastic fruit, it's all organically grown and it's all produced from the local area. So which products do you love the most? Which ones look the most inviting for you? And they might say that they like the mandarins. And so I would encourage them to pick them up, touch them, feel them. If I've got a couple of different sorts, I'm getting them up there, I'm showing them, interactive. I might give them a choice, which one's better, what do you prefer, this one or that one? They choose the mandarin and I say, great, let me give you a little sample of that. So if I was doing some kind of food, I would be set up for taste testing, because it's all about getting them hands-on, interacting, touching, feeling. So if you're doing maybe skincare or makeup products, you're going to have some testers available and you're going to get them testing products. If you're doing jewellery, you're going to get them picking up their favourite piece of jewellery and trying it on. If you're doing homewares, at least get them to pick something up, touch it, feel it, put it in their hands. The whole key here is getting them hands-on. It's the same concept as using the wish list at the party. So you want to get them just visualising owning the product and not worrying about the prices or anything else like that. So I've got my taste testing fruit there, and I'm going to say, yeah, try it. Then they're going to try their mandarin. How does that taste? Can you taste the nice natural flavours in it? Can you taste the extra sweetness because it's locally grown and all organic? Now, as I'm doing that, I might wish to have a wish list. So a great way to get them a little bit more involved with this is to have a wish list there. And that's usually where I would say to them, after they've started to interact with me, I pretend like I almost have forgotten their name. So I might say, oh, by the way, I'm Melanie, and your name is? And they might say, my name's Sally. Great, Sally. So that's the mandarin. Which other kind of products do you like here? And depending on how much time they're looking like they will be happy to give you, you might want to speed this up a bit. Quite often I'll just go with one product and that's all you need to talk about there. It's at this stage that I would then say, so Sally, we're actually looking for people who would prefer to have the free product, and for those people that do book from the expo today, you actually do get to choose an extra piece of free fruit from our gift box in here. So if you did have a party, would you prefer Would you prefer to do a weekday or a weekend? And she might say, oh, it'd have to be a weekend because I work all week. Okay, well, the next spot I've got available, I've still got Sunday next weekend, or I've got the Saturday the weekend after. What would be easier for you? And she might say, well, oh, next week's way too soon. I need more time than that. I could maybe do the Saturday after that. Okay, so on that Saturday, I've still got an afternoon or an evening. What would you prefer? And she says evening. And then I might finish it off with saying, so most people tend to go for either a 6:30 or a 7 o'clock start. What would be the best for you and for your friends coming along? And she says 7 p.m. Okay, great. So I've got you in there for Saturday, not next week, but the one after, and at 7 o'clock.